Welcome back to another episode of the Breadwinner Energy Podcast. Hello, friends. We have officially started the Rebirth Challenge. We're a couple weeks in, and I am feeling so good and so excited. But also, too, if you have not gotten in there, I need you to get in there. I need you to get in there right now because I am running this 30 days free as if it were a paid container. This is some of my best work, and you're going to feel like you've paid to be here. There are so many good, juicy drops, nuggets, challenge. We're doing a challenge. Someone's going to win at the end of it. Not only some of my passive courses, they're also going to get a $500 credit to join Academy. You're also getting worksheets and prompts and the things to work through so that you know exactly what is holding you back from your success, from your next level, from your higher self, from making more money. And I'm going to give you a sneak peek in today's episode. I'm going to be dropping in one of the first videos I dropped for the challenge. It's only 20 minutes, but I'm going to put in here exactly what you can do right now to understand your own creator field. What is holding you back? What have you actually created in your own reality that is just being mirrored back to you, which is proof that you are capable of not only creating your own reality, but changing it right now. And also, you will see every single block that is holding you back from massive amounts of success. You will see what you're projecting onto others and why you're doing that. And then you'll also see what do you need to fix and what do you need to let go of and purge and to pick and to throw out and to recreate in order to create the life you want. It's a juicy one. It's called Understanding Your Creator Field. If you're already in the Rebirth Challenge, this was one of the first videos I've dropped. If you're not, you can also come and join us right now and still get access to all the things I've dropped between the beginning and now, as well as you're going to be invited to our live masterclass that we're doing at the end of the challenge. So the challenge is 30 days. It's going to be living on. So if you're listening to this podcast episode in the future, then you can still jump in and you can get the entire Rebirth Challenge. Use it any day, anytime. It's completely free inside of our community and you can use it over and over again. So if you're listening and we've already passed it, you can still get access. But if you are listening during July 2025 and you want to be a part of it, you can join now. At the end of the month, July 28th, I will be teaching a live masterclass called The Rebirth That Will Make You Wealthy AF, how to freaking build a business you were born for. Literally, no one else can replicate it. It is yours forever because literally you. It's your journey, it's your shadows, it's your initiation, it's your story, it's all the things you've been through in your life to create massive amounts of success, to lead a movement, to build a business you were literally born for. In this 60-minute masterclass, you're going to learn my signature 3-step method. I'm going to crack your soul wide open so that you understand why the money, the momentum, the magnetism hasn't quite unlocked for you yet, what your purpose is, and how it makes you unlike anyone else in the industry. I'm going to teach you how to build a soul-led, identity-based business. It's going to give you money and magic and making massive impact, more freedom, more space, more money, more confidence than ever before. You're going to build a business that is your legacy. You're going to package your magic. You're going to make more money than ever before. Your clients are going to be obsessed with you, and you're going to feel like you've just unlocked the secret that you have been waiting for so long inside this free masterclass. The link is down below. All right, I'm going to leave, and I'm going to leave you with this 20-minute drop that I gave our Rebirth Challenge members, and it is going to be what is going to unlock the blocks for you. Listen and then come over and join our free community. Don't forget to sign up for that free masterclass. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Okay, before we can get started and talk about quantum leaping into your next self, your highest self, rebirthing and becoming this next level version of yourself, we first need to understand the concepts of where you are right now and unpacking and understanding where we're at. So we can't quantum leap and know where we're going until we understand what is between where we're at and where we're going, right? So there needs to be clarity between where you are, the path you're on, the current reality you hold, and then there needs to be clarity on where you want to be, right? And then what is everything in between those two things? So if you first don't know where you are, we're going to start with that this week, is understanding, purging, getting really clear on your own shadow work that needs to happen in order to go where we're going, right? So that's step one. And then we're going to talk about where do you want to go? What is the end result? Where do you want to quantum leap to? And what are all the blocks in between where we are and where we're going? So we're going to first start with understanding your creator field. And I've created images. Now, before we get started, I just need to make a disclaimer, okay? I cannot draw to save my life. Do not judge my drawings, okay? I just needed for my visual learners, I needed to do this, and I'm like a paper and pen type of girly. So this is your current creator field. This is you. You're very long. You have a very long abdomen and very short arms and legs. Don't judge me, okay? Your creator field is your magnetic field that is around your body, right? It is what you are magnetically attracting into your life. Think of it like a mirror, right? You are being mirrored back to you all of the things that you currently believe to be true, right? And if you believe that at the core, that is the story that your subconscious believes, that is the reality that you will create, okay? Example, love equals chaos. If you have grown up in a household where love was conditional, love was chaotic, love was performance, you will then attract a partner that feeds into that story, even if you don't want to. Even if you don't want to, but your subconscious believes that that is safe because that's what you've been programmed to believe from childhood. That is what you will call in. So if you've had narcissistic partners, abusive partners, partners who treat you less than, they are just reflecting back to you the stories that you believe to be true, either about love, partnership, relationships, or yourself. So if you think that love is comes from chaos, right? The push and pull of trying to get someone to believe that you are worthy, you have to convince someone to believe it. You're going to attract partners who are probably avoidant, and you're going to chase them to prove to them that you are worthy of their love, and they're going to run from it. That is what's going to be mirrored back to you in this reality. Same goes for rest equals lazy. If you believe and you've been conditioned to believe that resting and resting, like totally turning your brain off, sitting down and watching TV, resting when there's work to do, resting when the house is not perfectly spotless, resting when you should be working, and you believe that is lazy, you've been taught that that was lazy, you're probably going to experience exhaustion, burnout, resentment. Your body like is not getting what it needs because you're not willing to rest. Another one I wrote here was I have to prove my worth. This kind of goes back to this relationship one, but with proving your worth, this sometimes is also tied to money. So what this looks like is you're trying to prove to your audience through value, overgiving, undercharging that you are worthy of paying. So you're always, again, it's that chase cycle, right? You're chasing, they're running, you're trying to prove, and then it's this cycle of burnout, of exhaustion, overgiving, under earning, and feeling like you're putting out more than you're getting back. Success equals, or a lot of money equals it's either hard or it requires you to suffer or it requires sacrifice. If you believe this subconsciously, that you have to work hard to make a lot of money, you have to work hard to create a lot of success, you will be mirrored back that story, and success and a lot of money will be hard for you because you believe that to be true. And whatever you believe to be true is going to be what your creator field shows back to you, right? The last one I wrote here, and there's a million of these examples, and we dive more into this in Academy with your own shadow work and like uncovering your shadows, your archetype, your money archetype, your personality archetype, where it comes from, your attachment styles, how that plays out in success, how it plays out in business, how it plays out in money. We do all of those and we unpack those. The last one we're going to do today is being fully expressed, like sharing your most honest opinions, your story, what you believe, the hill that you will die on, being fully self and soul expressed, either hurts other people or you become disliked. What happens when we believe this is we then have people mirroring back to us those beliefs. So then you will have people who are going to cancel you, not like you, unfollow you, tell you this will happen when you believe this to be true. And they will tell you how bad you're hurting them and how you're a bad person and how you're maybe like your family's doing this too, right? They're telling you like you're a terrible person and you shouldn't be saying that and what are other people going to think? That's going to be mirrored back to you to show you where you need to change the way you think, the way you believe, change the stories you tell yourself. You're just being reflected back to you all the triggers, the shadows that you need to work through in order to become your next level self. Now, what happens is so many people are unwilling to look at their shadows and they're unwilling to see that this is actually a mirror of what you're projecting out into your creator field, and then they become the victim. In this rebirth, we're going to use your current creator field as all the shadow work that needs to happen to become and rebirth your next level self. We're also going to use all of the stories that you currently hold as part of your initiation into your higher self. If you continue to use all of these as being the victim, you can expect yourself to still be in this same cycle, same place with relationships, success, money, and business until you're willing to change your stories and see that these mirrors that are being held up for you are opportunities to change to have the life that you want to have. So that's what we're going to do here. That is what we do inside of Academy. If you're not willing to do that work, you're not willing to see the work that needs to be done, the mirror that's being held up and how to change it, and you still want to be a victim to your life and you don't want to change, the rebirth is just not going to be for you because it's going to be highly uncomfortable and frustrating when you want to still be the victim to situations that you actually created. Now, I know for a lot of you here, you're going to be like, I did not create this. I did not make someone sexually abuse me. I did not make someone physically abuse me. I am not in control of other people. And that, hold on, I want you to pause. That is true, okay? I want to first start by saying this. I have had a very uh, hard journey. I believe that I'm an old soul, that I came to this lifetime to remember all the things that I needed to remember to become the version of myself I needed to become to then lead this movement for other people. And in order to lead this movement for other people, I had to do this work myself. So I was initiated. I upfronted a lot of my karma at 32 years. I'm now 32 years old. I lost my father to suicide when I was a child. I met him. He left when I was 6 months. I met him when I was 12. He committed suicide 6 months later. I was sexually abused multiple times in childhood by caregivers. I then have been in 3 physically abusive relationships, my first ever boyfriend, my first husband, and another relationship that we will talk about in the future. I have been through so much shit in my life that I had every opportunity to be the victim to my story. I started my business in 2016. I had $100 to my name. I was a mother. I was 7 months pregnant. I was on WIC. I had already dropped out of college. I had wrecked credit, and I was with someone who was physically abusive and abusing alcohol, who was in the military, who was always gone, who held money over my head. And that was where I started my very first business in 2016. To now creating multi six-figure businesses, 2 multi six-figure businesses, to creating a life that I love, a life that I deserve, and to be able to lead a movement from saying this stuff happened in that time. Technically, I was a victim to those things, but I'm not going to choose to be a victim the rest of my life when I could just use it as my power. I could alchemize it into my power. I could alchemize it into changing my own life and then helping other women change their lives. So I don't want you to hear this as, I don't care about you, boo-hoo, stop crying. I want you to really take this opportunity to see where is my power and my purpose lying within this work, and I keep avoiding it so that we can create your dream life creator field. Because you are capable, and we're going to work through alchemizing all the pain, all the shadows, all the shit that you've been through into your own initiation into your dream life, the life that you actually want to live, because you would not have started a business, you would not be in business if you did not have a bigger purpose. You would not be in business if you truly believed you did not have a bigger mission or that you were worthy of success on some level. So we're going to change your creator field. The way we change it is by changing our subconscious, the things we believe to be true, the stories we tell ourselves, and alchemizing what we've been through as reason, as initiation to what we're going to have in this lifetime. So If you then create stories of, I'm only available for blank, I'm only available for this type of love, this type of clients, this type of money, and I am going to say no to anything less than, and I'm going to hold that standard and boundary because I truly believe that I am worth more, that is when you will call in more. And it cannot be that you pretend and then you still act as if you're still in your old creator field. You have to act as if this is truth. So another one would be like, I make more money when I rest, and then showing and proving that to yourself, right? So there's going to be this gap between what you currently believe and don't want to believe, and the current reality you have, and then the reality that you want to create. There's a gap, right? That gap in between is the bridge. It's the bridge between where you're at and where you're going. Now, we don't just hop the whole bridge. We have to build baby steps across the bridge to then get across it to then quantum leap. So for some of you, the quantum leap, the quantum jump for you might take you a week, a day, a month. For some, it's going to take like 6 months, years, right? The way that we close the gap between the two is number one is surrendering. Stop trying to be in control and controlling how it looks, what it will look like, what the time frame of it will be. And you have to surrender to this actual process of becoming, right? The faster you can become, the faster you'll quantum leap. Now, becoming is all about walking the walk. Becoming is about becoming the version of you that you want. Now, the version of you that makes multi six figures, that leads a movement, she is able to be seen. When I say she's able to be seen, not just physically, meaning she's willing to show her face, she's willing to put herself out there, she's willing to tell the world what she believes in, even when it's unliked, even when it's unpopular. She's willing to be raw and authentic about her shadows, her story, her past. I cannot tell you how many stories and pasts I have told the world about my life, my childhood, my upbringing, abusive relationships I've been in, being a single mom, being broke, last year burning down my whole business, losing 6 figures in that process. Like, I am willing to sit with my own shadows, and I'm willing to own them and embody them as truth and then tell the world. This makes me unpopular. There's people who don't want to hear that. Like, there's people that just like don't agree with the things I say in the world. There's friends, there's family, there's your upbringing, like your parents who are like, I don't want the world to know that that happened to you in childhood because that makes me look like a bad parent. And it's still telling the truth, still telling people about that because that's my truth, right? That's how I am a walking embodiment of my own life and my own shadows. And helping other women move through it is by doing it myself, right? So when you can become fully soul and self-expressed and not worry about being canceled, when you're willing to be your most authentic self when it comes to showing up in your brand, not being perfect, not being polished, not being put together. Now, hear me when I say not being perfect and polished and put together. That does not mean that we don't care, that we don't take care of ourselves, that we don't actually curate an experience for people and like dress for the position we want, become the version of ourselves, look the part that we want to look. That is not what I'm saying. I'm not saying be a messy slob, don't take care of yourself, not put yourself together. What I'm saying is ChatGPT is writing all of your things because you want it to look and sound perfect. You're unable to come on and talk to your audience because God forbid you mess up. Or God forbid you pause for a second to get your thoughts together and it has to be perfect. And you have to have a script and you're like reading every single page for people. That is not being your $500,000 a year self. That is not being your $1,000,000 self. That is being a curated version of you so that people will like you. And if people like you, you think they'll buy from you, but that's not true. People buy authenticity. People buy from people who are fucking real, who tell the truth, who say the thing, right? When you're in that energy, that's becoming your next level self. When you're able to start practicing that version of yourself now, that is when. The next one is when you're willing to take up space. When you are willing to fully take up space in the world, in the industry, being that girl and not being afraid that you're being too much, you're being too loud, you're being too self-expressed. God forbid the outfit you're wearing, right? Like the photo shoot that I am doing for this round, this next round that I'm going to be posting, it is spicy, it is edgy, it is going to make people uncomfortable. And that is the point. That is literally the point. The next one is feeling responsible for other people. You're feeling responsible for clients. And so you never take time off. You feel like you always have to answer clients. The second they message in, you have to answer, you have to reply, you have to fix all their problems and solve all their problems. And when they don't get results, you take it as it's your fault. That is not being a six, seven figure business owner or leader. You're afraid to step on toes. You're afraid that people will say that they don't like you. You're afraid that people won't understand you. That is not being a six, seven figure leader. You're still in this box of, do people like me? Do people accept me? Am I being the good girl? Am I worthy of your approval? That is not being the version of you that makes a lot of money, that leads a movement. Those are two different identities. So we have to understand, what is your current identity and stories that you're carrying? Are you being a good girl? Are you being a caregiver to everyone? Are you still in this whole so rebel and so independent and isolating yourself, and you're like being so cold to people that you don't have any empathy at all? Or you're going on the opposite end of the spectrum, that you're using the empathy as like, you can't hold up boundaries for yourself. You can't say like, this is who I am, right? There's a line between those, right? And we have to find what that balance is and understand, where are you currently at? Where do you want to become? And what do we need to let go of? Maybe we need to let go of relationships. Maybe we need to let go of partnerships. Maybe we need to let go of trying to please our mommy and our daddy or aunts and uncles that are never going to pay us. Maybe we need to let go of this good girl, people pleasing, chat GPT, everything is put together, the world is only seeing me in a perfect light energy. People are going to like you so much more when you're human. When you're a real person that has real flaws, that owns the shit out of their story and who they are. That is when people will like you. Not because you are this like perfectly put together, everything is so magical in my life and I never have a bad day shit. People can see right through that. That shit reeks of not true, right? This is where we have to start. Your homework is to identify your current creator field. What do you believe to be true about money, about success, about having a lot of clients, about sales, about selling to people? What do you believe to be true when it comes to loved, being accepted? What do you believe to be true about business owners or coaches who make a lot of money? A lot of people are like, the women in the industry the coaches in the industry who are making a lot of money and they just like are saying whatever, are like fake and they're frauds, right? And there's all of these stories that we have about what women should be and what they shouldn't be and how they should look and how they should dress, and how maybe you feel threatened by a woman who's fully expressed. Maybe you feel threatened by a woman who is wearing a certain outfit or looking a certain way or saying certain things. Why does that trigger you? You have to uncover, what are your triggers? What is the current weight that you're carrying that is not yours to carry? And what needs to be purged to become this next level version of yourself? What do we need to let go of in order to become this next level version of yourself? What is the identities, the stories, the habits that we need to let go of in order to become our next level selves? If you think about your next level self, you envision her, however you journal about her, you can literally see her in your third eye. However you think about your higher level self, I want you to be really clear about, how does she look? How does she feel? How does she move through the world? What does her life look like? What does her home look like? What does her business look like? What do her habits and her routines look like? And how can you start to implement those now? The only thing holding you back from who you are now and who you can be in 30 days from now is the stories that you believe to be true and how you're acting out those stories on a regular basis. Because deep down, there's shadows that are still in there, even for the most boldest women that I know, the baddest bitches I know. Everyone has shadows. Every single person has shadows. You cannot run from your shadow. You can only get so far if you don't do shadow work. Shadow work is what will crack you open for massive amounts of success, because you can clearly see what is blocking you from more money, more success, more clients, and it being easier than ever before. So your homework is to uncover what those shadows are. Come over to the community, post it in the chat. I want you to post it. I want you to tell me, what is some of the triggers that you're realizing? What are some of the shadows that you're realizing are holding you back from massive amounts of success? Okay? That is your homework for today. Cannot wait to see what you guys come up with and tell me about what is in your current creator field. What do you need to let go of? What do you need to purge? What is being mirrored back to you over and over and over again? And it's like you cannot run from it. It's like really bad relationships, like narcissistic partners, and you probably have a narcissistic parent, right? Or it's just like chaos all the time. Your life is always chaos because you're creating chaos because you can only feel safe and comfortable in chaos because all you've ever known is chaos, and you're not sitting down to rewire what it would be like to live in peace, what it would be like to live in silence and quiet, calming your nervous system and your body, rewiring it for new pathways, new stories, new beliefs. Okay? Come over to the chat and tell me.